Welcome back to Ghoster Coasters. Cedar Point, the amusement mecca of the Midwest and America's rockin' roller coast, is home to 18 roller coasters. Yes, 18 if you count Pipe Scream. Cedar Point sits off the shores of Lake Erie on a peninsula and is what some may say landlocked as far as future expansions go. There are a few gaps in the coaster lineup, and we don't want to see too many coasters be removed to make way for others. So how can Cedar Point accomplish the 20-plus coaster mark, and where the heck do they have the space? Pushing the boundaries on creativity and using the land in unique ways allows for the park to truly maximize its footprint without expanding into the campgrounds or taking the parking lot off the island.
Yeah, today we'll show you some ways the park can build some new coasters, keep the existing ones in place with the exception of a few, and potentially even take the coaster record for the most in one park. Now, we will doubt this will happen, but let's just get into the open areas for expansion. Stay tuned, guys. This one definitely gets really fun here. Now, this one makes the most sense to us because it is one of the kind of most eyesore parts of the park since they have removed a lot of things from the area. And this is going to be the Iron Dragon plaza plus the HR offices over there and the former dorms that they had over there. We think this opens up a pretty good plot. It's just, starting off with the most recent news coming out of Cedar Point, the offshore land purchase, opening up some vital space in a much needed area of that, with all the removals, basically, it's just a bad, poorly themed area of the park, and it's really the only area of the park that hasn't had any major upgrades. So,
with the former dorms that were demolished, the HR offices that are being moved off-site, and the Iron Dragon Midway that desperately needs a redo, anyone remember the old setup before they moved the stage to where it is now during the mid-2000s?
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, I like that setup more, to be honest with you.
It was kind of set up in front of the train station there.
Yeah, exactly. And, anyways.
Flow made more sense.
With the removals of the Wildcat, the Good Times Theater, and the bumper cars being relocated near the Ferris wheel, this area has felt bland for some time, with the exception of the food trucks, sitting in front of a fenced-off wall of nothing. That area has so much potential. So what are a few things we could see here?
Well, with over 2.5 acres to work with and up to 4 to 5 acres of potential plot area overall, as Theme Park Predictions had shown in his video, where we both had a similar idea for rides here, kind of, dark rides. But first things first, we heard some people say moving Perimeter Road back. So that's a start, but what else? Potentially a new stage or moving the stage entirely, which our friend Scott, CP Coaster Lover, said should be moved to the former Scrambler area of the park, which makes sense to me because all the midways kind of meet there. The Sky Ride gets off there. It would just make a lot of sense, and you could kind of see the shows as you were approaching on the Sky Ride. It would be a cool environment, But
how about the dark ride?
Yeah.
The area could use something awesome for families and more. So one of the new Intamin rides or the new IPs from Six Flags for an indoor dark coaster potentially?
Yeah, that would be super cow. I've even heard talks of the Gerstlauer and single rail coasters, which, hear me out, a single rail in that area would be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Lake Erie Flyer, I can kind of already see it now, 150 feet or taller, single rail whipping along the shores of Lake Erie. Okay, maybe that's a pipe dream, guys, but it'd be amazing nonetheless.
I think the major thing to hammer home for the park here is the theme of the land. No matter what they build there or do in the area, theming it and bringing it together so it doesn't feel like a cement and wood blank canvas will do wonders for the Midway and Celebration Plaza area. That's been needing some love for some time.
Yep.
What would you like to see theme-wise for this area in the future? Any predictions? Let us know down below.
Now, moving on, this is kind of a two-parter here because it can either be Kitty Kingdom or Planet Snoopy.
Controversial.
Okay. Controversial as far as the family experience goes, but I promise, give us a little bit of time here with this theme here. We will replace this area with something much better in this video and somewhere else in the park, so stay here with us. Let's consider the idea that Kitty Kingdom or Planet Snoopy gets condensed down and moved off with a new flat package somewhere else and opens up a huge chunk of land for Cedar Point. As seen from the overhead, this opens up a favorable amount of land, what could we actually see here?
Well, with 1.5 acres in Planet Snoopy roughly and 2 acres estimated in the Kitty Kingdom plot, this opens up a good amount of opportunities. Many have discussed a beach wooden coaster,
Yes.
and I'm not against that at
Please.
all. Would I prefer it over here? No. But would I take it in a heartbeat? Absolutely.
Yeah, others have also mentioned adding more flats, such as like a Tundra Twister to the area, which would be amazing as well, helping Cedar Point round out some of its lineup holes, which we did recently discuss in our last video, so go check that out if you haven't. It does help tie together some of this a little bit. But theming the area would not be as hard as the others because the beach boardwalk essence would be prevalent and seep into the future planning for this area's development.
Right.
I'd love to see a beach boardwalk wooden coaster though. What say you guys?
Piggybacking off the condensing and opening up of the plots, let's move on to where new Kitty Kingdom,
yeah.
Planet Snoopy could go. Like,
Yeah, what could we do here? This is kind of a three-parter. Forbidden Frontier on Adventure Island. We're going to start directly across from the Cedar Creek Mine Ride. The area across from there offers a unique perspective on the entire island as a whole, which, if connected, could really utilize so much unused walking space and help guide traffic through the park phenomenally. So hear us out. Split the island into 3 separate sections. Starting across from Cedar Creek Mine Ride becomes Section 1, the playground and adventure part of the island becomes Section 2, and Dr. Dolbert's Fling becomes Section 3. Breaking up in the island as sections allows for future expansions into different areas, starting with Section 2 across from Cedar Creek Mine Ride. Boasting 2 acres of land and a bit more with creative planning, this plot offers a prime piece of real estate for Cedar Point.
it would be connecting Planet Snoopy to the island, creating a walking path from the barnyard to Planet Snoopy, making it easier for guests to get from Gemini to Millennium Force if they wanted, or Millie to Magnum, and so forth.
Yep.
With Kitty Kingdom being removed and the rides being moved off, this offers a unique opportunity to connect Camp Snoopy and potentially make one of the best themed kidlands in all the parks. Immersive and deep-rooted in fun and adventure. Exactly what camp is all about.
Yeah.
This area offers a new custom flats package for campers and more, and potentially a family boomerang.
Kidding? Or are we? But moving on, the playground side of Adventure Island. The opposing side of the island offers another chunk of 2 acres and a little bit more if you do some little creative looping. So how do we bring this together with the new Camp Snoopy? There are a few options for attractions here, but a step up from Camp Snoopy while still staying in the theme of things. A new family coaster maybe, with the height requirement of 40 inches, so the youngins can get riding on the younger coasters like a Skyline Attractions coaster would do magic for the area.
Right.
Offering over 1 acre and custom layouts from Skyline. Anything is possible in the family realm over here. Continue with the camp theme in this section to not contrast from the kids area too much, and I think we have a nice new setup on the island. Easily accessible, fun for everyone, and a new adventure within Cedar Point. So moving on to Dr. Dolbert's Fling. With this plot of land, there's essentially 2 lines of thinking here, or scenarios. The first would involve removing Snake River Falls and Dr. Dolbert's Fling being relocated, and that empty plot being utilized together with Snake River Falls.
Here we could build a coaster by Maverick, with the station being over there by the bridge where the splashdown is currently by Skyhawk. Entrance queue over there brings a new attraction right on the midway and opens up more paths potentially. Send the coaster's layout through Dr. Dolbert's Fling plot and bring it on back home. So ideally for this ride, we'd go wooden coaster here. Have the lift leave and tower over Skyhawk as it heads back towards the former Dolbert's Fling pot, and have it drop off into the abyss where guests from the walkways can't see where it ducks off behind those trees back there, giving Cedar Point its modern Woody and a great night ride through the island and cover of the trees from the rest of the park.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Option 2 is simply removing Dolbert's Fling and utilizing this space. Here we have about 1.2 acres to use with the removal of some of the storage buildings. Think of a Ghost Rider type structure and layout potentially. A single rail, Gerstlauer. Options are kind of abundant in the compact layout category, even those new Zamperla Heartlines and other stuff, so we'd love to see the island get used up to its fullest potential if possible. Moving on, we're going to move it up to the front of the park here. We used to walk in and there was Demon Drop just towering over the plaza, and ever since its removal, there really isn't a whole lot up front. You have to walk pretty far to Gatekeeper, and Raptor is a ways back too. What if we utilize the land behind the theater and drink stand there? They used to use the building behind the drink stand as a haunt location for Halloween back in the mid-2000s. Yeah, I loved it. It
was a good haunt.
Yeah, it definitely was a good haunt. It was kind of like their club one, but over there.
Yes.
It was super worth it.
Clowns.
Yep. it seems like they don't use this area much now, and I know the pavilion gets used for school events and more, but I'm also sure that they could relocate that and upgrade it as well. Keeping Chickies and Pete's, the theater, and the drink stand in place, this offers roughly 2 acres of land to play with, and 3 if you remove the pavilion entirely, and well, Jersey Devil only takes up a little over 1 acre of land.
Imagine a single rail between Raptor and Gatekeeper and Blue Streak. Entrance could be near Raptor bathrooms back there or up by the front midway. Theming the area would be the trickiest part, as there isn't a very cohesive idea to go off of unless you go with the bird theme.
Yup.
Anyone? Red Wing Revenge? Anyone? That's the Michiganders out here traversing to CP every year. You guys like this plot? We've heard Gerstlauer from subscribers as well for this plot, so let us know.
Yeah, definitely. Now, this is the one where we remove something.
Sorry.
Trying to identify plots, we can't help but mention Cedar Creek Mine Rides plot and Corkscrews.
Yep.
We don't see either going anytime soon because they're pretty cheap rides to operate, but more Cedar Creek Mine Ride than Corkscrew. If they did, they offer intriguing, valuable locations within the park, so we'd be silly not to mention them pretty much.
Yeah.
Shifting Perimeter Road and utilizing the storage area space with Corkscrew's plot opens up a decent chunk of land, and we could see some more fun rides there if it ever were to happen.
They really could do something with the midway there and the ride as well.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, Cedar Creek Mine Ride sits on a beautiful piece of land, so the hope would be an elite coaster in that area, but not holding our breath, nor are we wishing for more coaster removals.
Yeah, definitely not. Now, this is one of the biggest plots of land, and it happens to stand between 2 legendary coasters in their own rights. That's right between Steel Vengeance and Gemini.
Yep.
Removing the storage buildings back here brings a whopping 3 acres of open land. If they remove the parking lot along Gemini, it opens up about 4.
Right.
There's just a lot of things to do back there. I'm imagining a new coaster with, big coaster potential written all over it. This would definitely offer yet another unique view of the back at the park. Something you don't really get to see besides on Steve and then kind of on Magnum. Something I'd be really excited about if they did ever use this land, with an entrance plaza likely near the Gemini bathroom's current location. We'd love to see a whole themed area come with this.
Gemini and Magnum are space neat themed enough. Why not run with it? I don't know, just spitballing here, because there is a potential for a fun ride located between 2 already amazing coasters. So what do you guys think? Are there any other plots you would love to see utilized at Cedar Point? Where do you think they'll build their next roller coaster at?
That's a huge question right there. That's one that a lot of people are definitely wondering. When is the next coaster going to be coming after, ground up coasters we're talking here after Top Thrill 2. We can't wait to see what happens in the future, and we hope to see some expansion a few years after Top Thrill 2 comes along in 2024. Now, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We don't ask much of all of our wonderful subscribers, but you guys are what makes this channel great. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to visit all of these amazing parks, make contents, dream up silly plot videos, and have great conversations and meetups with all of you. Become a member.
So fun.
Become a member of the channel if you love what you've seen. We're working on early access content dropping for members, and of course, the member shoutouts as well. CP Coaster Lover, thanks for making our channel amazing. We can't wait to catch some rides on
awesome.
Top Thrill 2 with you next year as well.
And as always, thank you for being a part of this spooky community and
for Coaster Ghosting with Ghoster Coasters. Have a Six Flags Day, everybody.
At America's Rock and Roller Coast.